Welcome to Seatton Education. I'm your host, Victoria. Every week, we talk to expert guests from around the world to show that home education really can be an achievable alternative to conventional schooling. Joining me today is Margot Lossouarn, who has been teaching French for 20 years. She is the author of a bilingual children's book, Le piège dans la forêt, The Forest Trap, and her company, Lessons for Kids, won an award for Best International Language Club for Children in 2023. She's speaking to me today about how home educators can help their children learn a second language. Hello, Margot.
Hi, nice to meet you, Victoria.
You too. Can you give us a better introduction to yourself and your business?
Okay, so I'm Margot, as you said. I've been teaching languages, English and French, with a lot of passion since 1995. So I think it's almost 30 years. I am French. I live in Brittany, France. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in foreign languages, literature and civilizations. And since then, I've been teaching English and French. So I'm the author of this book, a picture book for children, The Forest Trap, as you said, Le piège dans la forêt. And additionally, I'm a content creator and I collaborate with publishers, educators, teachers, and even a pet sitting platform to enable people to travel the world and learn languages. So I have taught in many different schools, including a bilingual nursery primary school, in a technological university institute in companies, and in my own language club. And today I teach exclusively online since COVID, and I create teaching resources for families and teachers, and I also offer teacher training and French courses for adults.
I would love to ask your opinion. At what age children can start to learn a second language if they don't have a native speaking parent in the home?
That's a very good question. I love answering this question. I would say in their mother's womb.
Wow.
Because while babies can't learn to speak a language in the womb, they can start recognizing the rhythm and melody of their native language. So this early exposure can help with language development after birth. And so right after birth, newborns are highly receptive to sounds and can start distinguishing between different languages. So early exposure to multiple languages can be beneficial for their cognitive development. So I'd say as soon as possible. The earlier a child is exposed to a second language, the better. And research suggests that starting at the age of 10 or before the age of 10 is ideal for achieving native-like proficiency. And so I teach at French Lessons for Kids. I start language lessons at age 2. At this age, I've noticed that children are naturally curious and can absorb new languages through play, interaction. No need to translate anything. They absorb everything you tell them. They will naturally repeat everything you say.
Oh, wow. And what kind of activities do you use with those very young children who want to learn French? What are some of the ideas you have for making it fun for those young children?
So to learn naturally and effectively, it's important to stimulate different areas of the brain. So hence the importance of gestures, movement, and stimulation of the 5 senses. So we use touch a lot through crafts, gardening, cooking, coloring stuff, smell through cooking again, or outdoor activities, sight through videos, colors, illustrations, flashcards. We have hundreds of flashcards that our daughter illustrated for us. Hearing with songs, nursery rhymes. I write nursery rhymes in French or translate English ones into French. Stories, hearing different French accents. And finally, taste through cooking classes, baking classes, and I organize snacks as well. And so in today's digital age, screens have become invaluable tools for language learning. However, it's essential to balance screen time, especially for children. We know it can impact their development and well-being. So, at Lessons for Kids, we offer a variety of learning resources, as but also off-screen resources. A lot of them, like printable, fun activities to do as a family, indoors or outdoors. And this way, children can enjoy a rich and diverse learning experience while keeping screen time in check. And I love what Charlotte Mason said: never be within doors when you can rightly be without. So I really try to apply that. So I organize nature walk, for example, cooking, baking workshops as well. Parents can get the recipes, and I make videos of myself cooking, or we organize live sessions together.
Amazing.
And outdoors, there's a nature walk for spring, one for autumn, where they can, they tick the boxes on a sheet when they find the things like animals, like ladybugs. I was thinking about my flashcards, the one my daughter illustrated. My students laminate them. They laminate them, and they can play outdoors, like a scavenger hunt. Parents can hide the cards. Children can go and search for the cards.
And that's great, because I think it's that balance between parents who think they might not be able to do it all because maybe they're not fluent in French, but giving them, there's the structure of lessons, but then they feel that they are able to continue that the rest of the week or the rest of the fortnight between those lessons. That's a really good balance. And I was very excited to learn about your Pen Pal program and also your bilingual classes. Can you explain those to us?
Sure. So Pen Pals for Kids is designed to connect French-speaking kids and English-speaking kids with pen pals around the world. So it provides a secure platform where kids can safely exchange letters, learn about different cultures, and develop their writing skills as well. And so this fosters global friendships and encourages curiosity and empathy among young students. And so it's designed for families with kids aged 6 to 11. Most of the participants are my regular Zoom students, so I know them very well. I know their parents too. And they can send letters to each other with their parents' assistance, of course, either by email or traditional mail. And they copy me on the email so that if a letter gets lost, I have a track of it.
That's great. I think it brings alive a language because it makes it real that it is spoken by real people, real children.
Exactly. Yeah, it's better than an app.
Yeah, exactly. I think
can make friends.
Yeah. And then I think children then see the purpose of learning a language too.
Exactly. And they can connect in between Zoom classes that we have together. They can connect on Zoom or FaceTime or whatever they want, WhatsApp.
Yes. Well, still thinking back to, my language learning experience. I studied languages at university, so languages are a big part of my academic career. And certainly the exchange programs that I did, they were some of the best. I learnt more in those visits and those trips than maybe the rest of the time studying the language. We have a lot of British people listening. For us, France is our nearest neighbour. So how can families, one of the huge benefits of home education is that families have the flexibility to travel at different times of the year, and therefore to travel more cost effectively and just more extensively than perhaps people who are sending their children who are stuck in a school timetable. So how would you encourage British families, we're only a few hundred miles away, who are trying to teach their children French language and culture? How can they learn more about France? Where would they start?
That's an excellent question too. So true, I live in Brittany, France, and you're just across the channel. And since the UK is no longer part of the European Union, things have become more complicated. It's true. We need a passport now, but we are very close neighbors, and that's exactly how I learned English, like you. I regularly travel to London. I started when I was 15, and I couldn't stop traveling back and forth since then, because immersion is one of the best ways to learn a language on certain conditions. Uh, First, listening to some French first is important, then learning French, and then being able to travel to France or French-speaking countries, and then put into practice what you've been learning is a fantastic progress booster. Let me explain why I'm saying that. I've experienced this not only with English, but also with another language, modern Greek. I took a modern Greek class at university while studying English to become an ESL teacher. Despite learning Greek for 3 years, I didn't make significant progress in speaking Greek with people, I felt stuck. However, when we decided with my husband to spend a month in Greece, I realized I knew much more than I thought. And being abroad but feeling at home was such a weird but great, exciting feeling. I could understand people, and gradually I started to speak. And after a month there, I could speak Greek. I just couldn't believe it. I had previously felt stuck in Greek in Paris, and all of a sudden I could speak it quite fluently, not fluently, but quite. And this was wonderful. So, of course, if I hadn't learned Greek beforehand and taken lessons, I wouldn't have been able to speak after just 1 month. So this taught me a valuable lesson that I never ever forgot. One, listening to a foreign language is the first step, just like your kids do before they start speaking, right? My kids started just listening to my husband and I, and then they started to talk. To study the language, we need to learn vocab, study grammar rules and syntax, but this is absolutely useless and won't lead you anywhere if you don't, and that's the third point, practice with real people. Again, real people, it's very important. And the best way is to practice with native speakers in their country, because learning a language also means learning a new way of thinking, discovering a new culture, tasting new food, listening to new music, watching new movies, and so on. So in my French classes with English-speaking kids and in my bilingual Zoom classes, we travel the world thanks to Google Earth and we discover each other's towns, cities, countryside, favorite foods, favorite outfits, and more. And yesterday, during our bilingual class, a French student of mine shared a picture of his hometown. It's Limoges, with my American students. It was a picture of the town hall of Limoges, la mairie. And so I asked the class if they enjoyed this French town hall, this picture. And one of the American kids loved it. And he said to the class, "Ah, that's one of the reasons why I want to travel to France." So he was fascinated by the architecture of this town hall. So just the picture of it. And the week before, we took a virtual tour of the Palace of Versailles, because that's where some of my French students live as well. And so we travel even if it's virtually. So can you imagine if they go to France?
Yes.
How much they will love and enjoy it. That's why I created the Pen Pal program and offer the bilingual Zoom classes, because when you can travel, it is wonderful. Do it. If you can, do it. But if you can't, we can travel, but differently, virtually. And in our French class for adults, we've been talking about food for 4 weeks. And next week, we'll put everything we've learned into practice by cooking something together. We'll cook dinner together.
On Zoom?
On Zoom.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm in my kitchen, and I will invite the kids to come around too. And sometimes I do cooking classes for kids, but of course parents participate. I love eating and cooking.
So how can home educating parents in particular help teach their children French?
So yeah, parents can actively help their children learn French every day between classes, and learn French too along with their kids. Bilingual classes where English-speaking children learn French with French-speaking children, and they practice together, they teach each other through games and various fun activities. And I act like a conductor leading my orchestra. And I regularly send the kids into Zoom breakout rooms. And what I hear is just fantastic. I'm very proud of their progress throughout the year. And in the French Zoom classes, children from all around the world have fun learning French. And this class is open to all children, regardless of their mother tongue. It's not for English native speakers only. So I had an Italian boy attending my class last year, for example. So he couldn't speak English or French, so it was immersion in French. And I will soon have Brazilian new students. So I don't speak Portuguese, they don't speak English or French, so it's going to be full immersion in French.
Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you for your invitation, Victoria.
And thank you for joining the Seatton Education podcast. Whether you watched us on YouTube or you listened as a podcast, please subscribe, like and comment. It really does help us reach more people. And we will be continuing to discuss how home education can be an achievable alternative to conventional schooling. I hope to see you next time.